Is catching Charles Leclerc, he takes him towards the inside. Perez on the inside, Charles Leclerc gives him just enough space. Can Perez squeeze past? They go wheel towards Vale now. Who's going to be last on the brakes? Leclerc has that inside line. Perez goes off the track, cuts the chicane. Off goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff coming out of the final corner.
Mel's already so excited to discuss
I can't sit still. My feet don't touch the floor, right? And I'm like...
So, hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of the Fastest Lap podcast, joined with Ono and Mel. And yeah, we've got a lot to discuss about this weekend. One of us lucky few. And you can probably imagine which one actually did go to the Grand Prix this weekend. But yeah, Mel, how was it?
Dude, it's so like... I can't even put it into words. It felt really surreal. Like the first time you see a car on track with like your own eyes.
You have a real clarification for speed, how fast them cars are actually going.
You blink and they're gone. You blink, gone.
So when did you get there? Was it Thursday you got there, or?
Yeah, I was there Thursday to Sunday.
So you did the whole weekend?
4 whole days, yeah.
Oh my lord!
It was so sleep deprived. So good.
Did you travel there Did you travel there or?
Every day.
Every day. So
it's an hour's drive, so it's not that
okay.
bad. But we were leaving like early to get there early, and yeah. Thursday was nuts, right? So Thursday morning before we left, so my dad's very like not ritualistic, yeah, but he's like checking we had everything, like camera, power bank, whatever, and then he pulls out. He goes, "Okay, Thursday ticket for you." I was like, "Yeah," I'm stood there. Thursday ticket for me. He goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Thursday pit ticket for you," and I was like, "Huh?"
Pit ticket.
Pit ticket. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, so we're going in the pits today. That's the main reason why we're going for Thursday." And I was like, he does this every time. We spoke about this before, every time. And I was like, and we went in, our slot was at like 4:30 or something. And any little gap that there kind of was, my dad would just kind of push me into it. Because it was so small that you can't see. But we got to see like everyone's garages and like the cars really up close.
Yeah.
They had like the front wings out.
Yeah.
And like everything. It's just like.
So walking in the pits, were they doing anything like the first day? Or was it more just like.
Kind of like just set up mostly.
Yeah.
But like they were kind of showing off like. They'd get like people to like turn on the cars and stuff so we could like hear them. It's so loud.
What, like well, no wonder they wear their big old headphones to block out all the
no
noise.
wonder, because it is incredibly loud. But like seeing cars that up close, like it didn't feel real. They're just the scale of them is insane. But they were mostly kind of broken down. There was still barrier between. But then I actually got to touch the Aston Martin this year on Saturday. Yeah, but we'll get to that. That's Saturday.
We'll keep talking.
I did
about
a little.
Okay, so run us through it. Thursday, you get there. You obviously get this pit thing. Thank you, Papa Mel, for allowing us to also be into this. So what Mel done, by the way, guys, is over the weekend, she was essentially a workhorse, and there are loads of photos. We have a Google Drive, right? And we put all our footage and everything in. There's a Google Drive just filled up with photos that Mel has taken over the weekend, and
Harry, there's still like 1,000 to put in.
Oh my god!
Because I was sat there like full camera setup. I had tripod, one hand on the button, and I literally as they were going past, you go phew, and you flick it around.
Yeah.
And so you can follow it all the way through.
Oh my god!
You were brilliant pictures, to be fair.
I was genuinely shocked. I was sending it to my friend, and I was like, "I took this," and he goes, "Yeah." And it was just like the wet practice and wet quali. The content I got from that.
What, seeing all the spray and stuff?
Yeah, the spray. It's like a whole other like rain cloud. Like it's nuts. It's nuts. It was funny though on Thursday. For those of you who follow us on Instagram, I had you all send me a ton of questions to answer while I was there.
Thank you everybody for doing that. That was nuts.
Yeah. And one of my friends, because we could see he puts the questions in, just as a laugh, put Lando Norris. And on it was either Thursday or Friday, but I'm sure it was Thursday. We're just watching. They were taking like celebrities around on hot laps. So like Alison Hammond was there.
Oh,
She did a hot lap with Daniel.
Big up, Alison.
Funny, yeah. We saw Daniel get out the car, and I'm like stood in front of where like the fencing is, because there were no grandstands open on Thursday because they didn't need them. And then Lando Norris just gets out the car, and I'm like, I was like, and we were stood next to the, like this group of people who were just kind of shouting him over, and I just had my camera, and I was just taking photos and just dead in the lens, and I was like, one of the best photos I've ever taken. But like, we didn't know that it was drivers doing the hot laps. We just thought it was someone else, like just other people. But the cars, like they're just like, some of them were road cars, some of them were supercars. But even then, get them on a track and it's just nuts.
Can imagine.
But
was that the time when, because during the weekend I think Crofty and that were on the, you showed us photos of it, but they were doing something on the track. It was like, because they got the bouncing hoppers.
That was Thursday night, yeah, for the F1 show. We were sat in the Hamilton South grandstand.
Yeah.
And they had a few other drivers. They weren't going to do it with everyone, but I think it was Charles and Carlos wanted to do it because they weren't going to do it with them. So yeah, we saw Lando and Daniel like, and then just Daniel absolutely twat Lando with the space over right in the face. That was like brilliant, because we knew we wanted to stay for that, because like, why not?
Yeah.
It was great. Like, what better way to like space hopper down the track? That's like nuts.
That was that was Lando putting like the photo of the baby with like the baby doll, and it's like smashed his face in.
It's all the memes that came afterwards. It's like when you hit your sibling and they go running to your mom, and you're like, no, and like Daniel's running after him. That was brilliant. Like everything that they did like on track during when there weren't cars on there was just great. Like they had a lot going on.
So Thursday's essentially just like a DOS around day for everyone.
Yeah, we walked around I think about half the track on Thursday. Over the whole like weekend, Thursday to Sunday, I did 62k in steps.
Oh my lord!
Yeah.
Did you walk the whole track then, or was there parts cut off?
So you could only walk around on the outside about half on Thursday. So we did half Thursday, half Friday, and then yesterday I walked all the way around the track after the race.
Nice.
And I took a Red Bull on the track, and then Ben told me off. He was like, "You can't use a Red Bull podium as an excuse to chug a Red Bull." I was like, "I can," and I did. Yeah, Thursday was DOS around day. But...
Oh my god, I can only just imagine how good you were felt. Like, because I went there last year, and like you have no conception of how fast them cars go. You watch it on TV and you think they're going fast, but then you watch it and you're like,
it's because it's the coverage. Like you're seeing them all the time on the track, and then when you're actually there, they just
fly past you, and you're like, well, I've got to wait a minute and 30 seconds now before they come back around.
But it's funny because I think people really underestimate how fast F2 and F3 and W series are. Like they must think, oh, they're really slow because they're not F1, but they're actually also ridiculously quick.
So where is it you sat for the weekend then? Where was your like actual grandstand?
The weekend, we were in Stirling, right on Cops' corner.
Ah. So you had like first row seats to Ocon being pulled over in the race, and also
I've got a video of that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you were just going really slowly, and I was like, taking his time, but do whatever. Yeah, so we saw him like get out the car and stuff, because that was our dedicated seat for Sunday. But then Saturday we sat on the start finish straight.
Okay.
So we saw practice. F3 sprint race, and we saw quali there too.
Oh, nice.
It was very cool.
So on
Smiling on behalf of you. I'm just like listening to you talk, and I'm like,
I was like in awe the whole time. I'm like, whoa.
We were just having a chat before, like the the podcast started. We're like, I don't know what we don't know what to call this, but we're just gonna call it a special episode because it's just essentially
Tales of the British Grand Prix.
Yeah. Just essentially just grilling Mel for the next hour or so, just putting us in with some facts in there and our own. But
grill the grid. Whew.
Right, Friday then. Come on.
Friday.
Come on. You get into actually seeing cars on track from practice and stuff. Nothing much really happened practice-wise because it was raining.
No, it rained, so they didn't go out half of it. Yeah.
The poor people that bought only a Friday ticket didn't even see like half the cars go out.
Well, yeah, they got mugged off a bit, but British weather, that's the risk you gotta take. So we were sat in Luffield, for practice 1. It's just nuts. Like the crowd, most of the time when the drivers go past, bar a few apparently, like the crowd, they just roar. And I learned over the course of this weekend that British people really love a good Mexican wave.
Yeah.
Because someone started one in our stand and it went from Luffield all the way around to the second part of Luffield, all the way around into Stirling to the other end. And it's just like, it's so surreal.
The atmosphere, I must admit, next level.
And the atmosphere creates a lot of like how it obviously feels, like the people around you. And we had like some great people.
Like sitting around you and stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think about Max getting booed? How was that that thing? That's all you heard about during Saturday and like Friday when Max getting booed because of the whole Nelson Piquet incident, but we're gonna leave that till later.
Like, here's the thing, right? If you're mad about Abu Dhabi, we've said this before. You should kind of get over it by now. Like, yeah, what happened was crap, but either way, fans would have been upset, like regardless of the outcome.
Yeah.
His comments had nothing to do with Max. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to be booed for that isn't fair, and it's just rude. Because I didn't see, like, from where I was at least, I didn't see any sort of Max fans booing Lewis.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm just kind of like, it wasn't great. It really put a downer on the atmosphere when you're booing like people to the point where you can't hear them on the track. Like, that's just really unfair. But I think regardless of the weekend, everyone just kind of comes together on a Sunday, regardless. Because like Sunday's atmosphere was a whole lot better than Friday and Saturdays. It was disappointing to see the booing, but obviously there's not much you could do about it.
Just because like it seemed like there was a very footy atmosphere.
Yeah.
There was footy chant from video, like I've seen a lot of footy chants going on and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably the main source of why people were booing. Because
True.
People who watch footy love a good boo. Like they're like, anytime we like play a charity match, say Liverpool and Michael Owen plays, everyone boos him.
Yeah.
Even though like he's iconic and everybody everybody in like growing up loved him, but because he went to Man United, they still boo him just as a laugh.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can't, because it's not often that it happens in Formula One. You can't distinguish whether it's just for banter or not.
Because you don't hear it like on the TV. And this is funny. When they filmed the F1 show, they asked the McLaren drivers, "Oh, do you think you're going to get points?" Like, and the whole crowd cheer. And then they asked the crowd, "Oh, do you think you're going to get on the podium?" And they were having sound issues like the entire time. So there were times where we couldn't hear them. And because we couldn't hear them, no one was cheering or anything. So it's just dead silent.
It's so funny though. It's just the irony of that.
Yeah, like it was just dead silent because we just didn't know what to do. They're like shooting t-shirts. They gave them t-shirt cannons.
I was thinking Mel's
there like
people elbow him.
I was like, put me on your shoulders. No, my dad would probably push me through again like he did Thursday.
Knocking people out.
I was like, fight Mel, fight.
Yeah. I'm there like
fight.
Because everyone else is really tall.
You're 5'2" self just being like, come on.
Hey, I'm 5'3" on a good day.
Oh.
How dare you? I did. I joined a call while I was there, and I was like, POV, you're me walking through Silverstone, and I put my phone up like this, and I'm like walking, and all you can see is the back of my dad. That's small. I had to hold his hand because I was scared. Because you've got everyone coming from every different direction. That like one little, and I'm like halfway down the thing. I wasn't risking I wasn't risking getting lost.
Oh. So yeah, well, we had we touched on Max, like obviously getting the booze and whatnot. Yeah, personally, I don't. Yeah, whatever.
I don't agree with it. Even Lewis said, like, come on.
Yeah, like as a Merc fan, I don't particularly like Verstappen, but I'm not going to sit there and boo him. Like, there's just no point. I think most of it was maybe from the PK incident, but even still,
but even again, I'd establish that as not fair because that's not to do with him. That's not something that he's directly done. But it is what it is. It happened, but
I think the way Red Bull addressed it, we'll touch on it briefly. The way that Red Bull addressed it, they didn't need to put out a statement because they already did action, and I think actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, they do.
So they already disengaged Phipps from the thing we spoke about the last time.
Yeah, that was something that intrigued me because he's still racing, isn't he? Like, I didn't imagine that he's still racing.
Yeah, he's just.
I had no booze for him as he was going past, so I was kind of like, But yeah, no, I agree. Actions speak louder than words, and for them to do that, that's a big statement. But it was the right decision to make.
If anything, boo Horner, like he's the boss. He should have told the social media page to put the statements out regardless. That I didn't like that interview.
I mean, actions speak louder than words until the actions are dangerous, and we'll touch on that later on. I just thought I'd put that in there. That was interesting.
What? No, I agree. I definitely agree with what Arno was saying though. Like, it's so difficult to touch on because you can't really say too much without being pragmatic or any type of way of being like you've got a certain view. There's only one thing that we should know, and that's one: we do not diversify against anybody. We do not hate gender, whatever it is. That's just not on. It's just
definitely not.
I don't know, the way they go about it professionally, you have all these different teams just saying like, nope, not happening. Nielsen Piquet's a they're not outing him, they're not saying his name, but everybody knows full well that he's a for what he said. That's just no. And then it's just Red Bull have this whole thing about Vips, and then it's like, oh, do they release a statement? Do they not release it? It's just like, oh, you're just winding yourself up even more. You've then got Nielsen Piquet, which is unfortunately in that category as well. It's oh god,
it's difficult because it's always difficult to put out a statement in those situations because regardless you're going to get people who are unhappy and people who like accept the statement and like agree with it, but at the end of the day I think the worst thing they could have done is just not said anything at all. But it's important to at least address it.
They pinned what Nelson said on Vips by not putting out like the way he said it. He was like, well, yeah, we'd already took action by like getting rid of Vips, and it's like, but Vips said something horrible, but he didn't say it multiple times, and then say, like,
and it's a completely different guy that did something else as well.
Like,
they're definitely trying to distract from the situation, and I guess because it obviously occurred over the weekend, you've not got much time to think, so the only thing they figured they could try and do was be like, okay, but this is what we have done as of now, which something's always going to be better than nothing. But like it was just unfortunate for everything to kind of occur and that to be pushed on Red Bull a lot over the weekend. But at least they took some form of action. I think that's the best part.
I think we all just
they'll get the revenge in Booins later on. The time will come for Booins for Lewis.
Zanzambo probably.
It's gonna happen.
Right, Friday. Obviously, practice. Yeah, practice was on first. Right, Saturday, mate.
Saturday. Oh, what day?
Saturday. Yeah, quali.
The rain and quali. What more? Can you
actually, before we go on to that, how was W Series? Because I only caught an end of it. When like everybody was just going about like, oh, Chadwick definitely needs the F2 drive.
Yeah, I learned something quite interesting because I started following W Series a bit, but not loads and loads. Did you know W Series cars are mechanically every car on the grid is mechanically the same, and they're also mechanically the same as F3 cars.
Oh.
They're
F3
basically
cars are exactly
exactly
the same. Right.
Yeah. So, obviously, Chadwick took what? She took, obviously, the win over the weekend. And she's won every single W series that there's been so far. And also, people are debating, do you put her in F2 or do you put her in F3? Personally, F2, because the only difference between F2 and F3 compared to W series is the fact that there are males in F3. The cars are exactly the same. She's already proved she can do that, and she can win races in the car.
Yeah.
So I'm saying next year or the year after, put her in F2. I want to see her in F2. I really do.
Is there? Go on.
No, knowing that now, I'm gonna say F2, but
Yeah.
at first I was like, nah, let her build her way up, because then no one can say anything. Like, oh,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is you'll get backlash of, oh, you put her straight into F2. And you're like, the cars are the same.
If the cars are mechanically the same, I want to see the time splits from the F3 lads and the women.
Yeah.
And see what that is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just for like I don't know, curiosity sense. See how far Chadwick is actually, if they're like somewhat the same, see how far or how far ahead she is compared to the F3 guys. That kind of slots her in that gap. You know what I mean?
She's in a completely different game of her own though in W series.
Oh fucking hell yeah, man!
Like during the race, she was already like halfway down the straight by the time whoever was behind her was coming around that last corner. The gap she'd managed to build is just absolutely nuts, and it's just consistent all the way through the race. Like it was incredible.
When did Naomi leave?
19 point something seconds.
Naomi, I don't know. Oh, Harry, I met her, by the way. Just thought to let you know.
What?
So on Thursday,
sharing that with us?
I told you I was going to keep some things to myself. So on Thursday, when we were headed in towards the pit, she was there, and we were, just saying hi and chatting. So I saw her. She's wearing a really cool purple suit because she was going out to do some filming.
Like, I don't know why something's in my eye, but it seems like I'm crying, and I'm not crying just because to meet it, but genuinely,
Yeah, I thanked her. I thanked her.
Oh my god, I'm so starstruck right now. I can't fucking do it.
I'm so sorry. I didn't meet her, but Mama, it was really starstruck.
All you probably did was like, hi, and then just walk past.
No, I thanked her. I actually thanked her because I stopped a minute and I was like, thank you for giving young women a platform, because we've not had that, and now we've got that. And now I'm like...
When did she actually leave W Series? Was it last year?
No, I think it was last year.
Well, I touch on it every now and again.
Yeah. Like we've said it before, she's given so many people now a platform to speak on. Yeah. And we're seeing more and more, I think, over the last year, like women get into F1 and being able to talk about it, and that's what we do, and it's great.
Especially,
I love my job. My best thing is what I put out. I don't know where. I think I put it on Instagram. I was like, oh, nice office for the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Just like sat, feet up, having an absolute blast. But yeah, we saw her on the way into the pits. I just thought, I know you're a fan, Harry.
Oh mate, I'm 100% a fan.
It's funny because I would just kind of spot people, and I'd turn to my dad and be like, "Oh my god, that was like so and so," and then he'd be like, "Oh," because you just wouldn't notice. The best thing is seeing people like leave the track. Like,
yeah, because you got a couple of photos of because when you can walk down the pits, I know that some of the drivers, when I was there, it was the Friday I think last year, we were allowed, like after all the practice and stuff like that, they do track jogs and like ride their bikes and stuff like that. And we saw George go past a couple of times. I saw
the clips someone put up. They were playing footy, and the football went over the fence onto the track on the grass. I think this was Friday night.
Oh yeah,
or Saturday night. And they're like, George, the ball.
He runs over and just goes fuck, and just rides off. Imagine that, your hero just on your bike, like, George, get the ball, George, get the ball. And he's just like, pricks.
Yeah, that wasn't on the screen, to be honest.
We saw Alonso came out in the pits while I was there. He's so funny. Love him.
What, Alonso?
We saw Tsunoda as well. Yeah, towards the end we saw Tsunoda. I also found out this apparently only applies to the British Grand Prix. I don't know if it's the same every year. But the pit order is completely random.
Really?
If you look back, you won't see like Red Bull and then Mercedes. Like it's completely random.
I thought that was a No, I thought that was a classification for the whole year. Like
No,
Merc
it's
would be
not.
at the top, then it'd be Red Bull, then it'd be Ferrari, then it'd be
No,
McLaren, then it'd be no.
it wasn't. No, you had like I have a flick
Is this
through, but I
only on the
can't.
Thursday, or did they change it for that
No,
Fridays?
this is only for the British Grand Prix, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, like they were all mixed up.
That's
Like
actually pretty sick. If
I think
that's
the
the case.
Williamses were next to the Aston Martins, I think. Like it was random.
Mate, that's mad. To even think
Yeah.
that, well, sorry, the British are just privileged. Sorry, all American fans and Spanish fans and everybody else out there. We're just privileged enough to just say, fuck it. You know what? Have your own garage if you want it.
It was just completely random. And it's funny to look back on because I was kind of sat in the grandstand watching and I was like, oh shit. Like I walked through there and I ran down this pit lane to then go work in the shop and like the ice rink would have been just there. And it's so weird to like look back on.
Oh, right. Okay.
Like, it's just so strange. But yeah, the pits are in a completely random order at the British Grand Prix.
So when you were doing that like pit walk on Thursday, did you get to see like any of the drivers at all? Like actually like go up to them at all, or is it more just like staying out of distance? Or
They kind of rush you along a bit, which I get, but also like shut up, leave me be.
Yeah.
You know. We saw Alonso, saw Seb, saw Yuki. Can confirm I'm taller, by the way. Because I said before I googled it, can confirm I'm taller. The like barrier thing that they had up, like the fabric thing. There's a video, and he just kind of jumps under it rather than going around. That was kind of it because it was there were like later slots where most of the drivers were there because it was just set up. So, but it was cool. It made me laugh as well because everyone seems to love the dude who makes the like TikTok content for Aston Martin. His name's Jimmy. Everyone heckin' loves Jimmy. Like all I heard through the week was Jimmy. Like everyone just shouts at him because apparently this is the thing that everyone just loves him.
Oh really?
And I was like, right, okay. But yeah, no, like it still feels so weird to like think about.
I can tell you,
Like
this
it's
is shock.
forever. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I waited what like 6 months to go from when I found out, and then yeah. Oh, speaking of Saturday, we should talk about the Aston Martin event.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that's where I touched the car.
You're lucky enough to go. Well, actually, how did it come about? So tell us how this all came about.
I sent my dad a TikTok. I was like, "Oh, have you seen this? Like, apparently Aston Martin are balloting tickets to go into their factory and a little thing like afterwards." And he said that he'd entered a few times and not won. And then on one of the last ones, he basically won 2 tickets. So we got to go around the factory for a bit. I didn't really take any further of that because I was just like...
The Aston Martin factory is like literally across the road from Silverstone, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we went to that after quali. They put like contingency in because they didn't know how long quali would be. And then afterwards we went in. They gave us like a hat, a lanyard, and a wristband. And then it was basically like drinks and food. They had Sims in there, so I went on the Sims in there. Ooh. They're just incredible. If I could have one, I so would. Like, I want one so badly now.
F1 2022, I think is out now.
Out now, yeah.
as we talk about this. So everybody's going to be buying that. Yeah. I'm definitely buying that. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
The Valkyrie Aston Martin.
Oh yeah, Vulcan or whatever it is.
That was in there.
Oh man,
so we got to see that. The safety car. My dad sat in the safety car.
Ooh. One of our siblings have just walked in, so we thought we'd cut that out just for privacy issues.
Honestly, so inconvenient. I put a sign on the door and everything saying, "Please don't come in. I'll cry."
So yeah, at the factory, and
we got to sit in the safety car. Which was cool, and they had like the mechanics in there. I got to hold the steering wheel.
What, the actual F1
heavy, a bit heavy, yeah. And I don't even know. I don't remember his name. I don't think he even told me. But they had a lot of like the mechanics in there. And they're like explaining how it works. There's so many buttons. Like it's just nuts. I don't get how you remember every single button. I did ask him to I did ask him to double check with me that the pit confirm button is indeed the OK button, because I know there was a bit of
they're just
confusion.
okay.
Yeah, and it is. It really is. It just says OK. Yeah. We sat for a bit. Rachel Brooks was there, like presenting over the weekend. So I got to meet her. She's really nice. She told me about this young lady that she knows who films a lot of content for a lot of F3, F2, and she actually does filming for Carlos.
Okay.
Because so I told her about like the podcast and stuff. And she said that I should like get in touch with this person if I want to go into like media and F1. So I'm like, okay. Yeah.
mate.
And then Nico Hulkenberg was there.
Nico Hulkenberg! Hulkenberg!
So he was he did like a kind of Q&A thing, and then we got to meet him afterwards, which was cool. And then we saw I don't know if you've seen like on the Aston Martin socials, but they invited Lizzie McIntosh, who
I heard
she's
about
got her
this.
own podcast, and F1 Hannah was also there. But it was just a really cool event. And I remember that tweet I put out about the thing. I've not been able to see it yet to see if we could see it. But so Aston Martin had their car covers, F1 car covers obviously there. So I was like, this is my chance. I was like, I'm going to make history. And I just put our podcast name on it. So it's there now, forever.
Nice.
I was like, we need a bit of history in it.
One day when we look back on it in a few years' time, we'll be like, we signed the 2022 car thanks to Mel.
Yeah. They did a pit stop challenge too, which was they're so loud. The wheel guns are just nuts. How loud they are. But overall.
So what, a pit stop challenge? What is where they like run through like I don't know. Yeah, like
yeah. So
did you
they
go?
Yeah, it was really heavy.
The wheel?
The wheels are heavy. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine the wheels are probably quite heavy. Yeah, but like so the motion they did.
The things, yeah. So they had a worker roll it in, and you'd have someone else, whoever you're teamed up with, dead. So you'd have to gun the wheel, pull it off. They'd roll the other one in, they put it on, and it's just nuts, like how fast they really do it. And you got to give them props for how heavy they are. Like,
well, it's like 1.8 seconds is the fastest, isn't it? So think about doing like one Mississippi and it's done.
Yeah, literally, it's nuts. But the whole event was just like, it felt really surreal to be there.
Well, to go like go backstage and just like have a look at it all. That's actually pretty gas, you know, man. That's pretty gas.
Yeah. It was great. I felt so privileged. I got a free hat out of it too.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I got a free Aston Martin hat.
And I got a free motherfucking hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Big up, big man Chris.
Big up. Big man Chris, was that the guy that gave it to you?
Yeah. That's my dad.
Ah, well, Chris. Chris, you're a legend. Your dad is a legend, to be fair.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks a lot.
So, yeah, qualifying. Oh, yeah, what else happened on Saturday? Saturday, we'll go into qualifying. We'll go back to our roots. We obviously had, a mixed qualifying, I would say. It was a bit all over the place. It was a bit up and down.
Definitely.
Seeing it from Cops, actually, to be fair, whether it was wet, did you see many cars go off at Cops at all, or was it just?
No, we weren't sat at Cops for quali. We were sat on the straight for quali.
Just sat on the straight for. Okay, yeah. Right, okay. Could you see the timing sheet on the is there a big screen down there? Or
there are big screens everywhere, but you can't really like see the times and details. But you can reasonably distinguish like the names.
Okay.
It's funny because they're about 4 seconds delayed, so you'll see a car physically come around the corner. And then you'll see them come around the corner on the screen.
Oh, right, okay.
When they go around the last corner, you do see them kind of have to wiggle and adjust back into it. Otherwise, they'll just spin it.
So you saw a bit of car control, because what the main thing that came from Saturday is, when I was watching it, I couldn't believe the car control that some of the guys actually have, because they're literally squirming about, especially out of Luffield, they're squirming about all over the place.
Max is obviously Max in quali. I don't know what he was on. Every single lap, he just charges. And he obviously had that one instant, didn't he, where he's coming down and he does a 360 and he just carries on. And everyone everyone kind of cheered him because he'd obviously been the lap. But I think Max has gotten to this point where he can push the limits so well in the rain that he can go fully purple.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary how like well he can do that. But yeah, we saw a lot of car correction as they were coming in off the corner because they kind of lose it a bit and then have to wiggle to adjust it back, but then they go fully flying down the straight.
I mean, I was glad to see Sainz on pole.
That was special.
Yeah,
that was so special.
That set it up. That set it up.
Not being able to show you guys because they're not in the.
About him last week.
Yeah.
I think it was us.
Yeah, it was just
praise.
I said to my dad before, I was like, we've seen over the past couple of seasons, Carlos does really, really well in the wet. Yeah. So for him to put it on pole, that's just like magical. They're not in the Google Drive yet, but I managed to get some photos of him like out the car during the interviews to say like Charles and Max. Because that's where we were stood right there and obviously they pull the cars up afterwards. But it's just so surreal to think about. Like, you look back on it and you're like, Carlos put it on pole in the wet.
This weekend as a whole, there we go, was, I would say, one of the best weekends we've had this season. Like in terms of practice, in terms of qualifying, practice not so much, qualifying definitely, and especially with the F2. Did you watch any of the F2s when they? I don't know who it was, but someone went over someone. Before we go any further, thank fuck for Halo.
Anyone who says Halo is useless, get in the bin. Anyone.
We'll have a quick segue here. We're going to discuss the fucking Halo.
Is it three times this weekend? I think.
Yep.
2 or 3 times. People's lives have been saved.
Yep.
The amount of times I see people tweet about it still, they're like, no, it just slows down the cars. It doesn't do anything. I'm like, are you serious? Because when 2 cars are on top of each other, when they're not meant to be on top of each other, like...
That F2 one was mad.
I
couldn't
believe it.
Nah.
It was nuts. It was honestly nuts.
It wasn't even like, there's something like, it's the fact that like certain things, like he probably could have slowed down, he probably could have stopped, but he punctured the wheel, he couldn't stop. There's a bit of a weird mismatch, kind of forced him off the track. But even still, I don't really like Jean Todt at the best of times, but he was one of the advocates really for, even Toto Wolff wasn't really too keen on the Halo. Even like he kept saying like, what about when they go through Eau Rouge and they can't even see up like towards Eau Rouge in Spa? Thank Christ.
Thank God.
Thank everything.
I'm sure I watched a video that was like the Halo can withstand the weight of 2 double-decker London buses.
On top of it,
So like we saw it last year, like it saved Lewis's life.
Yeah.
When him
Lewis,
and Max went
Grosjean, it had Charles in 2018. It had 2019. Was it 2019? 2018.
I think it was 2019. But yeah, we've seen it save so many people's lives, and it really annoys me that people are still like, oh yeah, but we don't need it.
No, we do.
Like we do, and especially this weekend.
Yeah.
After what we saw, that was like.
Yeah, we'll touch it. Yeah, so we'll touch on the race a little bit. Obviously, we've seen first lap incident with Guan Yu Zhou. Have you seen? If you haven't seen, obviously we don't. When it's Formula One, a lot of our fans, or if you're new to F1 and you're new to everything, a lot of fans don't understand why there's no pictures straight away at the car. So whenever someone crashes or whenever someone does something horrendous or it's a big crash, no TV directors, no one actually looks at the crash because because they think of the families at home that can't, like, they're anticipating either a death or a serious injury. They're just like, you don't want to fucking see that. So
there was a new thing, I think, that they kind of learned because obviously they heavily still televised Grosjean's incident, and then they had a lot of criticism thrown back. That's like that's not fair on the family.
Yeah,
like for this and this, even on the track. So we knew there was a red flag, right? We didn't know why. All we'd heard was that there was something wrong with George's car. We didn't find out until about half an hour after what had actually happened.
Really?
And the whole red flag was about 3/4 of an hour, almost an hour long. And we didn't find out till like half an hour after the race had been stopped.
Well, so at the track, you didn't hear about Zhou's crash at all. You just saw George's car and barrel off towards the barrier.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even we saw them like the race start, and then it kind of cut to something else because then it was red flag. So we saw them obviously drive slowly past us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't know. I was texting my friend because she was also there. She was like, "Yeah, he's upside down the barrier." I was like, "What do you mean he's upside down?" And even my sister messaged me, who was at home, she was like, "Did you see him? He went absolutely flying." And I was like, "No, like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
But yeah, because obviously ethically, and I think legally too, they're not allowed
No,
because
they
you've
can't.
got to make sure these people are safe.
It was
It's
like
terrifying.
I don't know about you or no as well, but watching it at home, when I originally thought it was George. I thought it was George because I saw the Merc go, and then I thought it was the Merc on its top just going sideways into the barrier, and then I was like, what the hell's happened? What the hell's happened? And I've seen Joe go down, and then I've seen George go down. And then it's cut to a camera shot, like a head over the camera shot, but it just kept Joe's car out of screen. But you saw George get out of the car, and it just reminded me of Senna. When Senna gets out of the car and runs back, it literally, George gets out of the car, runs straight to the barrier, and you're like, shit.
It was Albon too. Because the Albon got shunted, and the marshal's gone over to him, and he was like, "No, I'm fine. Go over to Joe." And I saw the people would put videos up. He was sat there because it's actually right in front of his stand, and it's just like, how he survived that, and the fact he didn't need to go to hospital. That's because of the halo. Like,
I think the main talking point as well.
After we went up and like had a look, and like the tires are all bent in, and the barriers all scuffed, and the fence is like a bit broken. Like,
I think if that fence weren't there though,
if that fence wasn't there,
it would have went straight.
The videos of people sitting at the front row at that crash, and you're thinking like that car could have flipped up and just gone straight over that barrier.
That would have sent me into shock if I was sat there. I think I could have like.
I think the main talk about, I don't know if you watched any of Ted's talk afterwards, but there was, I can't remember what it is. I think it's the guy that said I don't know what his name is. I need to know his name. The guy that said the Australian Grand Prix cancelled. He went and looked at the track afterwards, and there's massive gouges of tarmac missing from where that is, and then also the main talking point of it, and I think they need to change it for the next race at Silverstone and whenever we do it next year. The gap that he fell into, if that car was on fire, right, there is no way he would have gotten out of that car. No fucking way. He fell into a gap between the fence and the tyre barrier where he couldn't even get out. He had to get airlifted, hoisted, and then moved out.
Here's the thing as well, because it's a gravel track. That's another reason why he went over the barrier, because that's just what the gravel does. So ideally, does that gravel track need to not be a gravel track? Does it need to be grass or something else?
Armco at the end as well.
Well, they said that like the gravel usually stops a car if it's upright.
Yeah. He wasn't upright.
It
made it
I think this is a very unique crash. Very unique.
Yeah.
But in that sense, I don't know, how else can you put solutions in place? If that was grass and it happened the exact same way, that'd have still fucking like flipped and bounced and gone skyward. It's just
it's just another reason to.
It was like my mum never watches Formula One, but she decided to watch it with me mainly because I demanded that I had control of the downstairs TV.
It's the British Grand Prix, Mum. I want to fucking watch it.
Have you seen that TikTok sound? For it's the Grand Prix. I never missed the Grand Prix.
So she was like, freaking out, like, what's going on here? Why haven't, like, because they were trying to hide what the name of what driver it was. When people were like acting stupid, like going, "Oh, we're not sure who's off track," when like they'd clearly seen all the rest of the cars go round. They knew who was on track and not. And like she's a proper panic. My mum's a proper panicker anyway, but like she's like, oh my god, is he gonna be okay? Blah blah blah. Like that's why like I tweeted, even I was like, I've not tweeted yet because I was literally in that much shock.
Yeah,
it just goes mad, doesn't it? Especially because they obviously, rightly so, they don't show the footage.
Yeah.
You're thinking, this is bad. The longer the time goes, the minutes, the seconds like go on, you're like, oh,
you get more nervous and your heart's like palpitating. Yeah.
Like, no, it can't be. Like, but thank God. Thank God that Albon's okay too, because he
went to hospital, didn't he?
He got pinged.
Yeah, that's what I find interesting, is that Joe didn't end up going to hospital, because I thought they would have, like, really just in case. Yeah, no, he got airlifted to my local hospital.
What?
Because
Albon?
because it's the closest hospital with a helicopter pad. That's why Max went there last year.
Oh right.
Because there's nowhere close enough apparently.
I think he only went to hospital because it was the G's, wasn't it? Of getting hit. It wasn't the sense of like anything was like wrong with him. It was just
it was his post after that made me laugh, where he's like, all the pets are okay.
Yeah, because the helmet.
I'm like, only F1 drivers
I know.
can get shunted and then be like, yeah, no, I'm fine. The pets are all good too. Like, but yeah, anyone who says the Halo's invaluable is wrong.
Back to point number one. Yeah, Halo. If you think the Halo is a farce and anything like that, get fucked.
Yeah,
point blank, get fucked. That thing has saved countless lives. Not only the fucking drive. Yeah.
Yeah, and we still get racing, so I don't see what they're complaining about.
Yeah, they haven't really done jack shit, to be fair. Right, so yeah, qualifying. We obviously had. We'll go back to our normal standard procedure of just how we explain things. Yeah, qualifying. Sainz on pole. We had Verstappen second. Then we had the Leclerc's, Perez, Hammy. We said actually, me and Ono said that Merc were going to do well this this race, but yeah, we'll move. Hammy. Who was next? It was Alonso, then Russell, then Gaz, then Zhou, 9.
Shall we touch on this?
Oh, Norris.
Why Latifi in Q3?
Oh, Go Tiffy! I totally forgot about Go Tiffy. Oh no!
What the hell happened there?
Oh my god!
Oh.
I was too stunned to speak. I was like, "This."
I'm taking my hat off for this.
Incredibly uncomfortable. I was like, "Why Latifi in Q3?"
Go Tiffy, he is now called. Right, everybody is Go Tiffy. He is no longer shit Tiffy. He's Go Tiffy. All right. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
I was like, what? I was like, Q3? Huh?
I mean, going on and like, you can get.
I don't get how you can drive better in the wet than in the dry.
Yeah.
But
first beating like Albon, like.
Yeah, Albon out in Q1. That was really sad.
Like, okay, he's beat Albon like out of Q1. It's like, let's see what he can do in Q2.
And then like it was just insane. I was like, what the hell? I knew like once we got into Q3, I said to my dad, I was like, I don't think he's gonna push to get any higher because Q3 is already high enough. Because he knows he's in a car that can't battle Mercs and Red Bulls. But like Q3, I don't know how many jars of Nutella he scrammed before quali, but they must have paid off apparently.
Oh, innit?
Yeah.
It just goes like the thing is, right? It just goes to show how good the shit cars are in the wet.
Yeah, because George did it in Spa.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like the Williams is actually good in the wet, but on dry it's just shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
We saw.
Yeah, he never had any upgrades.
No.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Oh, a drop was cool to see actually. Just it reminded me. Obviously, the Williams changed their on Alex's car. They changed the side pod, and we got to see the flow of his paint.
Oh, was it red or pink or something like that?
It was like a really bright, like red pink color. That's cool. Like seeing that on the cars because you really can't see like the pod at all because I see they were trying to hide it because maybe they didn't want the Aston Martins to take any inspiration. But
yeah, it's stealing bastards.
Yeah, Q3. What?
GG's.
Yeah.
Who else? We didn't really have much shockers to be fair in like qualification.
No.
We get onto the race.
The Haas were like disappointed. I know people were disappointed with Haas, but like.
Well, we'll go into where the Haas actually ended up on the. Should we go into the race? Should we get fucking? Yeah. Should we get into it? All right.
Let's get into it.
Mel, start us off. Your race. Where are you sitting? You're obviously sitting Sterling.
Sterling. Just before Cup was killing it.
We spoke about the crash. Obviously, we get a safety car restart. What are your thoughts on the? Oh.
So I sat here like a ninny for the first half an hour, Harry. But like, what's happening? Because there's nothing going on. And then I opened the old Twitter. Fastest Lap podcast, by the way, in case you're not dropped a follow. So. We had a few unwelcome visitors on the track.
We certainly did. We certainly did.
Just oil people. So for those who it wasn't covered because rightly so, it shouldn't have been covered. But I don't know. Okay, I don't know where it was on the track.
Wellington Straight.
There, yes. There, I've got theories. I think I saw them in the bushes at one point. It's a lot. But the Just Stop Oil campaigners and protesters had decided, so it'd been rumoured a few days prior that they were going to try and invade the thing. The police knew about
it. The authorities knew about it, didn't
which
they?
is why there were armed forces there over the weekend. I forgot to say, there's policemen, they were like, with big guns. And I was like, I wonder if that's a phantom or a vandal. Anyways.
Phantom or a vandal, little fucking Val quote there.
But that's why they were there. I put the dots together, I sort of realised that. They'd gone onto the track. It was during the red flag, however, not all the cars had gone past yet. So one of them nearly got ran over by an Aston Martin. And they'd sat on the track because they're protesting about oil and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
How stupid have you got to be to go on a track where, yes, it's a red flag, but these cars are still going at incredibly high speeds, shaped like a chisel, and you can absolutely just get murked if one of them runs into you. Thankfully, the marshals were really quick to act on it, and they just absolutely dragged them off the track.
I'll let you guys get your opinions out first before I say anything.
It's just so stupid. How they got in, no idea.
Yeah, probably just bought a day ticket and just fucked it off.
Yeah, because I learnt this. They've got a Just Giving page so that they can pay to go to these events to then do that. But no, I think they were told they're allowed to peaceful protest. They weren't ever had that right taken away from them. And I think that was completely unacceptable because they put themselves at risk, they put fans at risk, they put marshals at risk, and they put drivers at risk.
Yep.
For what? It wasn't right. God forbid, because they've done this before, God forbid they super glued themselves to the track. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, because they've done it this weekend. They've super glued themselves to paintings in museums in London. But no, not on. I say no.
I was loving the way the stewards just manhandled
Yeah,
them.
they did.
Grabbed them by the scruff of the neck and just dragged them across.
Literally. I saw the video. As soon as they came on the track, everyone was booing them. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's just like, I get you trying to fight for this cause and blah, 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 but take it with the big oil giants.
Yeah.
Go protest outside of their place. Go protest where they're leaking oil into the sea and like killing animals. Go do that.
Because they want the publicity. We spoke about this just before. That they wanted the publicity, but they're actually impacting everyone but the people making the decisions.
Like it's baffled me. Like, how did you get there? Did you float? Did you fly?
Yeah.
Like, do you have like wings or something that we don't know about that you just managed
to
drop at that point, or did you drive there?
I'm very much adamant that I heard them in the bushes because as we were walking to our stand, bushes, and obviously if it's an animal, it's gonna like moo or meow or whatever.
Moo? What, you think cows are just gonna like stand around Silverstone? Actually, no, it is farmland. It is farmland, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like all this rustling going on in the bushes, and people stop kind of looking and they're thinking, oh, like we think that's a person. And there's a bunch of, so for those who don't know, there's a bunch of golf carts that go around Silverstone. They like take people to and from wherever. And this woman actually stopped, and there must have been someone in the bushes because I don't think she was just talking to a bush. And then on the way past, she's like radioing into someone. So that's what it could have been. But there's a time and a place. Then the race got back underway.
Then it did.
Yeah, then the restart.
The restart. I agree. A lot of people didn't like this, how they started it fresh, essentially.
Yeah, so it's a reset, wasn't it?
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense because you had 20 seconds of racing before the flag went out.
So the way it was handled is the cars didn't cross the second safety car line.
Mm-hmm.
So then an automated message is then sent out to all teams saying essentially the race technically didn't start.
Didn't happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I think, I don't know. Lewis got up to P3. I'm sorry. Lewis got up to P3.
Yeah, like Max got a great start.
And then
overall, I agree with it. Like, it makes sense.
I mean, Ferrari.
They binned it. They absolutely binned that race. Like, they didn't pit Leclerc, man. Like, what are you doing?
All right, okay. FIA, Ferrari Independent Association. That's just all I'm going to say. All right.
Yeah.
But hey, restarted.
Yeah.
We saw.
I was hoping, because obviously when it first started, Sainz messed up. Thought, come on, mate, come on, don't just roll over this time. Really fight. Yeah, he meant
He's so
business
dick
that race,
too.
didn't he?
Like,
I
you could
felt
just
like he was
tell.
just like in his head. He was constantly just walking around like
Yeah.
to everyone,
He
just
put,
any orders. Fuck you, any driving in, fuck you.
he put up such a fight. Like,
Yeah.
he is an incredible driver. For him to just that, like, I think everyone that day realistically was a Ferrari fan. Like,
Oh hell yeah!
I'd never seen a place so united during a race, because obviously through the weekend there were like boos for Max, but the atmosphere on a Sunday is completely different.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's cheering everyone. Lando goes past and the crowd just erupts every single time. Like, as it should. But
yeah,
it's just incredible seeing the cars go around.
I remember last year with Lewis, every time Lewis went round, everybody's going nuts, especially with Lando and George as well. So any Brit that went round, the crowd would just erupt.
Everyone goes mental, and like, it is like you said, Honor, it's like a footy atmosphere, and it really is, because you're watching on the screen, and anytime there's some sort of overtake, everyone's kind of going, and then they get the seats and they're like, oh, and there's something happening, and they be like, yes. And
so what is it? So Leclerc and Perez touch, don't they? And
yeah, I think they did.
Leclerc loses his front wing. Perez drops down. Perez dropped down to P16. Bearing in mind, we'll talk about the final finishing position. Man, what the hell?
He's done it before. We saw it in Bahrain, didn't we, 2 years ago?
Yep.
Bottled it at the start. We're last. There's a lot more in this race, mate. Wins.
I couldn't believe how fast Leclerc's car was, though. Like, he was quicker than Sainz. He's quicker than Sainz the whole race, and yet whether I don't know, Sainz pushed too hard on the mediums, like early doors.
Maybe.
With the sense that we had Ferrari team orders halfway through the race when it kind of got a little bit more, and then we got Verstappen
they kept saying to Sainz, they were like, get a wiggle on, otherwise we'll have to swap you. Yeah. And then he really got a wiggle on.
Yeah, because that was at the point when Lewis was coming up close. Well, not coming up close, I would say. Yeah. It was closer to Sainz at that point than he was Leclerc. Leclerc was faster than Lewis at that point, I would have thought. But yeah, they got the wiggle on. But it just happened that Verstappen, bless him, lost. I don't know what actually happened. Does anybody know what happened with the floor? Was it the floor?
I don't know.
Leclerc's car seemed to like flick off, and then Verstappen drove over.
Because do you know what intrigued me? The piece of Leclerc's wing that came off was in front of us, and it was on the track the entire race. And there were marshals there, and no one took that piece off the track.
It was there the entire time?
Yeah, because then afterwards, when they'd open up the track to let people walk, someone had sprinted down the thing and took the part of the wing. It was there the whole time.
Yeah.
And I pointed to my dad. I was like, there's a piece of thing still on the track. And everyone started realising, and they were shouting at like the stewards and the marshals. They were like, there's stuff on, like, there's a piece of wing on the track, like, you need to get it off. But no one moved it. It was there the whole race.
Strange.
Because we saw contact, because then you see all like the carbon like coming off, which is also really cool to see. Like, but yeah, it stayed there the whole race, because that wasn't really the racing line anyone was taking. No one actually.
Oh, what was it in the inside of the old pit straight, or was it like?
No, it was towards me, like on the outside line. No one was really taking the outside line around cops. But yeah, that was sat there the whole race. No one decided to move that.
Strange.
But it was really weird. But yeah, Perez going from P16 to P2.
What a race! What a race!
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
There felt like there was such a gap between the cars coming past, and then you'd see Perez come round, and then before you know it, he's just like charging with like the Red Bull and whatever, and it's just.
Yeah, I think the safety car helped like massively.
Yeah.
Because he's back up the pack as much as you can.
Essentially, we're going to just touch on it as well. Ferrari strategists are clowns, because Leclerc did not get pitted once again, and has unfortunately been cost, I would say, a race win.
Yeah,
all
because
Leclerc fans are fucking livid after this one.
You can hit under a safety car and and not lose your position, and you could have got a new front wing and had a car that was optimal. But did you do it? No, you didn't. I was sat there. I was like, Dad, why not pit Leclerc? And another lap went by, and I was like, Dad, why Leclerc no pit? Like, you had such a chance. I'm no F1 mechanic, but you had such a chance. You didn't take it. And I was like,
even if they just changed the tyres, like even if they changed the tyres, they didn't even have to change the wing. Even if they changed the tyres, because every single person, Hamilton, Perez, Norris, Alonso, were all on softs. All of them were on softs. The only person that wasn't was on Leclerc, and that caused a bunch of backlog because of Leclerc being on the harder tyre. It was just,
it was so weird. Like, I don't know what what's the problem with that they have with Leclerc. That if you see to
I don't know. I want to see Leclerc win a championship. Like, I saw his brother take his win, and I was like,
oh, well, Arthur, he got a win this weekend, didn't he?
I said to Dad, I was like, he's going to get pole during the sprint. Then he didn't. But then, obviously, they reversed the grid for F3. So he started second. And then he won. And I was like, what a good day.
What a day.
What a good day. But, like, they bowled it with Leclerc.
Oh,
it was just weird to see. But if it's going to happen to someone. Like,
Ferrari, knowing that the Ferrari and just fucked it every time.
You see, but not afterwards to Charles.
Yeah.
Stood there like,
Charles, just waggling his finger at him. I reckon Bonotto was just like, you slag off Ferrari in this media interview, right? You are going to have 12 blown up engines next year. Yeah. That is going to
Even with the whole Sainz not letting him overtake when he had the better pace. Even that to me was bottling it, because I was like, well, I was running my hands. I was like, you just carry this on. This is brilliant. This Lewis is catching up.
Hamilton is wiggling just sat there like, go on, boys, go on.
Yeah. I think they didn't want to appear like how the Red Bulls and obviously the Mercs have done before, where it's just team orders. My favorite thing was the team order of let them race. That was my favorite part, because that's what you want when it's so early in a championship, and you can until you want to be really strategic with it, you can afford to just let them race.
Yeah.
Because regardless, you could get a really good outcome. Like, let them race, but don't be stupid enough to bottle it. But
before the restart after the safety car, after Ocon, it was funny because Sainz over the radio was like, "You best stop all that swerving that he's doing." Like,
did you hear this, Mel, at the circuit?
What?
So over the radio, we saw it on TV.
We hear some of the radios.
Do you not?
Not all of them.
So Sainz and Leclerc, the team came over the radio and they told Sainz to back the pack up by 10 cars. So essentially, they were saying give Leclerc space, and then Sainz was like, "No, I'm also I'm going to be going for this." Yes, he straight up just went, "No, I'm not going to be doing this."
Because the coverage they put on the track, I didn't know this, is completely separate. I thought it just would have been Sky, because it makes sense, right?
No, I don't think so.
They have their own. They've got their own. Well, I don't know what it was like for you when you went, but they got their own track TV full coverage.
That's just Channel 4 coverage. That's not Sky coverage. So that's what's addressed to anybody that watched it on Channel 4, because Channel 4 have coverage only of the British Grand Prix.
British. We didn't even have Channel 4 coverage. They had that whole separate thing this year.
Really?
Yeah, it was called Track TV. Because it wasn't Channel 4 people, because if it was Channel 4, they would have obviously had Channel 4 on
you probably had the Silverstone radio guys. Did you have Silverstone
radios
we had
the
around the circuit?
Radio. I didn't, because I didn't need one, because we were right in front of a thing. But yeah, so during the day, we had Track TV, which even Will Buxton was on that, and I was like, he gives me the ick of it. But...
If the person leading the race finishes, he's won the race.
He's won the race.
Great bit of commentary there, mate. Great bit of commentary.
Thank you, Will. Thank you so much.
He deserves an award.
But the strangest thing, I said this to my dad, the strangest thing was not hearing "It's lights out and away we go."
Yeah.
That was so weird. I was like,
"It's five lights and they're out and they're racing down to the first corner." It sounds like a horse racing presenter.
Flying here.
I was just So the thing, main thing, just telling Ferrari just to race. It was epic. Did you watch Charles Leclerc go around the outside of Lewis at Copston? I'm guessing.
I did.
Did you get the video?
Oh my god. The thing is, stuff happens, and then I was like, my phone's not out. Because out of all the days, I was like, Sunday, I'm just gonna take it as it is. I already had some woman complain at me. She was like, is your camera gonna be up the whole race? Because I can't see that bit of the track. And I was like, well, yeah, it is gonna be up. I'm not being funny, love. But if you just dunked your head a little bit like that, you'd be able to see. But it's not like she sat right where the corner is, where she can see cars go around. I was like, everyone's just really tall. Like, what do you expect? I even offered her, right? I offered her. I was like, oh, if you want, because we were just sat next to each other. I was like, we can just swap seats, because then she'd be able to see the camera would be less in the way. And she was like, no, I paid for this seat. I sit in this one. I was like, fine, but you're not going to see much apparently.
Oh my god, I'd just taken, all right, fair enough. I'd just been like, okay.
Yeah, but about halfway through, because obviously it is just cars on track, I was like, I'll just put it away and just watch it. And I sitting at a corner, or I think if there's two places you're going to want to sit, it's either a corner or a DRS zone.
Yeah. Because
the overtakes you'll get around there are just going to be great.
Yeah, so like Stowe's, I think, would be a great place to sit. And also, I sat on turn 1 last year, but really you didn't really see much go on at turn 1 apart from the crash this year. Obviously a crash happens when I'm not there, but at turn 1 all you just see is like cars going through, and you're mainly watching it on the TV anyway, but you're just getting the atmosphere with it, so it's kind of like
if you don't mind the wind, I'd say like Maggots and Beckett's, that grandstand, because we went and sat in there on Saturday for a bit. You're seeing cars more or less everywhere on the track, because you're seeing them from further back, and then you're seeing them in front, and that was nuts to sit. And I sent you that photo from up there.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
That's like, I think, one of the best views you could have if you just want to see lots of cars at once. But I was happy with where I was sat. I think if I was gonna go again, only because I'm vertically challenged, I would try and sit the front row of wherever.
Yeah,
just for my own convenience.
What about Perez, Hamilton, Leclerc, Round Abbey going into that?
That was so tense.
That last little bit of racing, man. Crofty had me on edge.
Towards the end, like the last kind of, I'd say maybe 10 laps, you could feel everyone was going like full force, just absolutely hammering it.
Yeah.
Like them like going up, they go back down, and they're going round. Like you just don't know where to look.
Because I was like, oh, Lewis is overtaken. Oh wait, no, Perez. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ah! There was literally 5 car.
It was so good.
Norris, Alonso, Lewis, Perez, and Leclerc all fighting for second place, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on right now?
My worst fear would have been someone crashing and taking out all 5 of them.
In it. Like,
that would have been terrifying.
Leclerc going off, and then like Perez coming up the inside, and Leclerc, and then here comes Hamilton. I was literally just like, oh, I was screaming at the TV, just going, oh my god.
The stand started, like, when Lewis got into P1, the physical stand was like shaking, because everyone's like stood up and they're all like stomping and cheering, and I was like, my whole life started flashing before my eyes.
I jumped out and I was like, yes,
yeah.
And then 2 seconds later,
back in P3.
And my favorite bit was that just in case Lewis won, they put on the screen at the bottom, please do not invade the track.
Oh, that kind of just got wiped sideways. I was like, fuck it, like, who cares? Everybody just invades the track. Bearing in mind there was over 400,000 people across that whole weekend, and I think on the last day there was 200,000 people there at that track.
Yeah.
Like, did you get on the track in the end?
Yeah, I walked all the way around it. I took the Red Bull down straight.
all the way around, like on the track. Walked all the way on the track.
Yeah, so over Thursday, Friday, we walked around like the outskirts.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, we waited because we knew how busy it would be. We waited and we watched the podium. on the screen, and then we went down onto the track and we walked all the way around.
Oh, that's actually pretty gas, you know.
Yeah,
nice little end to that.
It was like
weekend.
the sun was setting. Like it was really nice.
Nice way to end the weekend off.
Yeah, when we were walking down the straight, like we saw the cars in Parc Ferme and whatnot.
Ah,
yeah.
Very nice.
It was very nice.
It's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it was quite nice. Yeah, it was. I can't believe I can't see over the barrier. That's a bit embarrassing. Like,
Mel showed us a photo just in the.
Taller.
Can you get it up on the screen real quick?
I can get it up on the screen. Wait.
Get it on your webcam real quick, just so you can kind of see it. I don't know if anybody else is going to see it at home.
Like, it's just like a little bit taller than me, but it's to the point where if I went on my toes, I'd be level.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, look, here's...
Dude.
Will it play? I don't know if it'll play.
You're tiny, man. You're so tall.
Yeah. Because we went on the... This is grass. Yeah, there's walking on the track afterwards.
Oh. Finally stepped on the Silverstone circuit, mate.
I mean, I've already been on it. That was like the third time.
Oh, all right, mate. All right, I'm feeling fucking all right, mate. I've been to fucking Silverstone so many times in my life.
Yeah, I got paid to go. Thank you very much. Like, very smooth. It's a lot steeper in parts than you think.
Yeah.
But I thought one like wrong footing and I'm tumbling down.
Especially into Maggots and Beckett's when you go down into Maggots.
Yeah. It's so funny because I didn't realise this.
Travel.
But you know, obviously they take the paddock club round just before the parade.
Yeah.
Everyone boos them.
Yeah, yes. That's why everybody did that last year as well.
Yeah.
They're like, you fucking pretentious pricks, you spend so much money.
It's so funny as well because on some of the like big trolley things, there was only like 2 people.
Ugh,
and you're like, that's a bit embarrassing. But yeah. The race as a whole afterwards, like at the end, seeing all the drivers go past and like waving, everyone's cheering. Like it was very euphoric. Like everything in that moment felt really slow. Like
kind of saying goodbye to a very poignant time in your life.
Yeah. No, really. Like I already said to my dad, like we got out the stand, I was like, so going next year? So if I could, I would just go every year. Why not?
100%. I think that'd be like either that or like Spa or Monza, like or Monaco, like the crown jewels. We have like all these new street tracks coming in, like, but we have to keep places like Silverstone and Monza and Spa in the calendar.
I don't ever see Silverstone like going. There's a few tracks that I don't ever see going. I don't know where I'd want to go though. Like next.
Spa.
There's just so many.
Yeah, I feel now's the time to go to the heritage tracks because I feel like
Spa, as long as it's not in.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, Sainz first points. And it's a win.
Ferrari jacket on.
Sainz first points, first win, sorry. And Mick at the end delivering us some beautiful racing with Max.
I cried at the end.
Max
like
getting showed up by Mick and just be like,
I was like, it was just nuts. Like to see a Haas fight. Like I kept checking the thing.
Like a Red Bull, innit?
Oh my god, he's P10. And then I was like, oh my god, he's P9. And then I was like, oh my god, he's P8. It's not really tales, right? But that's stories. I can't really remember the days. I've got my days muddled. Doesn't matter. That's not the important part. But so we got there really early one day to see some of the drivers drive in. So we saw Yuki drive in, Esteban, Harry. We saw Toto drive in.
Ooh,
we saw Gunter. He wasn't driving. Fucker was not driving. I think it was a Merc.
It had to be a Merc, I think.
We saw quite a few drivers come in. And then yesterday, we were just kind of, because we got there so early, we were just kind of walking around. And we didn't realise, but we ended up around this part of the track that you need different tickets to get into. And this like security dude came over, like, can we see tickets? And we showed them, and he goes, okay, really? Your tickets don't like quantify you to be in this area. I can't remember what it was called, but he was like, there's not that many people here, so like we'll just let you stay. I'm like, yes, because Harold. So I managed to see. We'll get these on the big thing.
Wait, what? Jensen Button?
Craig and Jensen. Managed to see Gordon Ramsay.
What? Where did you get to? Did you get to the BRDC? The Jackie Stewart?
Right?
What? Where were you?
And then I don't know directions. Got Alex.
Alex.
Wow.
Right.
You're in the paddock, mate.
Wow.
When was this?
This was truly your weekend. It really was. Oh my.
Joe?
Right, we're going to get these photos up on the podcast for you guys.
Yeah.
Charles?
Oh my God. Max.
Sorry. Right. Daniel?
Where were you, dude?
We just ended up, but don't worry. I saved the best till last.
Oh God. Of course it's Lando. He's just so starstruck, she just hits herself on the knee.
As if we weren't jealous of you enough, and then you roll all those pictures out.
Yeah.
Nice, mate.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like...
When was this? What, the Friday or the Saturday or the Thursday?
This was Sunday.
Sunday? What, the race day, and you managed to get in there? What?
Yeah.
How?
Just because it wasn't busy. Like, I think he would have been like, fuck off. But yeah. And then like we saw it would have been Saturday then, like George came in his G-Wagon and whatnot. Pappy's smells lovely, by the way, Harry.
Does he?
I know you were very intrigued. Yeah.
I on the questions, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for our questions over the weekend. But on one of the questions I put in, I was like, "Does Pappy Seb smell good?"
It was so funny. Like, yeah, I'm very like, it's funny because in real life I'm really like anxious. I was like, I don't want to ask for photos. That's scary. I'll just instead, and I just took photos of them. Well, it wasn't even from a distance. If you cuss about this much as distance, then like yeah, maybe. But yeah, it was.
Oh mate.
No wonder you've been buzzing.
Absolutely gassed. Absolutely gassed.
As a whole, mate, have you had a good weekend?
I had a great weekend. Thanks for asking. How was your weekend?
I think we've all had a beautiful weekend. I want to say what a race we've had, and Silverstone never disappoints. Ever fucking disappoints.
Never.
Definitely a second home.
It has been a great race for the
One
neutral.
day we'll go, us three.
Yeah.
One day.
It's got to be a must. You heard it here first. We're all going to be going to a race, and it's all going to be doing live at the track. We're going to end there one day, right, guys?
Yeah, we will. It was nice as well seeing other podcast content creators. That was cool.
Yeah.
Have you seen the pit stop lads? Have you seen their podcast that they do?
Yeah, there's two of them.
We saw them. Yeah. But yeah, it was. I just want to go back. I've got withdrawal.
But I think we'll end on our predictions for the next race. I think.
Oh golly, we're going Austria.
Where are we going? Oh yeah, so we're going to see booing of Lewis Hamilton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So we'll start with we'll start with you, Mel. Yeah, Mel. Yeah, we'll start with you, Mel. What's your predictions? Top five.
Top five.
Yeah.
Oh golly.
We haven't got. I don't think we've even got one of our predictions right this year with any of our.
No.
Top five.
I wanna say Max.
Yep.
Charles.
Okay.
Lewis.
Okay.
Carlos.
Okay.
And Pierre.
Okay. Okay. Pierre Gasly.
Yeah. He needs a good weekend.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Oh no.
I'm going. Yeah, I was gonna. Oh no, Max. Sorry, Leclerc, but not even second. You're not even getting that. Blame your team. I'm gonna go Hamilton second.
Go on.
Leclerc. No, actually, George third. Leclerc fourth. Sainz fifth. I feel like Ferrari will bottle it again.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Hamilton first. Verstappen second. Leclerc third. Russell fourth, and Perez fifth.
Solid group.
That's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. Hopefully it happens. Yeah. If it happens, it doesn't. If it doesn't, then I'm fucked up again for another week.
Should we take a minute to mourn George's P5 or higher streak for the season?
Yeah. Mr. Consistent is no more.
Yeah, no. Sorry, George.
Thank you, good sir.
Exclamation mark dono in the chat.
Yeah. They will knock it on the head then for this week. We've done a long one. There's going to be a lot of editing.
Yeah. Yeah, have fun.
There's going to be some bloopers in this one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll be going on to next week where we will be at Austria. And thank you from myself.
Okay, me.
We're a bit rusty at this still currently.
I don't want to say thank you from myself, Ono and Mel. I don't want to interject to you guys. Thank you from myself.
Me, Ono.
Yeah, me. Yeah. Should we live podcast coming soon? Maybe.
Live. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we might be doing a live on Twitch, so be tuned for that. Anyway, see you until next week, guys.
Subscribe as well.
Give that subscribe button and give that like button a smash. Thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it. Take care, everybody.